So we have several movies where we've talked about phasing and several more where we talked about design options. So the next most logical thing you might be wondering is, can design options and phasing work together? And the answer is yes, they can. So we can add design options to each phase if we like, or we can introduce phasing within any of our design options. So I'd like to do a quick example here. I'm in a file called Phasing and Options, and this file is similar to the ones we used in the phasing chapter. It has an existing phase, a phase 1 new construction, and a phase 2 new construction. And what we want to do here is possibly add a second entry over here. So if you followed along in that previous movie, we learned how to demolish out just a portion of the curtain wall and add in this entry. But now we want to consider that as a design option as opposed to a foregone conclusion, if you will. So if I look at the view that I'm currently in, I'm in the phase 1 new construction. Here's my phase 1 demolition. You can see the portion of the curtain wall that we're demolishing out. And I've also got another one here called Phase 1 Working. Now, the demo one uses the Show Previous plus Demo phase filter. The new one uses the Show Previous plus New phase filter. And Working just uses the default Show All. And all of them are set to Phase 1 New. So we're doing this work in the Phase 1 New construction. If you go back to Existing, it just simply looks like this. Okay, so let me go to phase 1 Working. And what I want to do now is set up a couple design options and then apply these parts and pieces to the correct design options. So I'm going to go to my design options dialog. I currently don't have any. So let me make a new option set, select it, rename it, and call it curtain wall entry. Take option 1, rename it. And our primary option, I'm going to go with the new entrance. But I'm also going to add a new option to leave it as is. So click close here. And what I want to do is come in here and highlight and select one of these infill curtain walls here. Now, I'm not sure which one I got. So the way I can check is to come over here to the properties palette and check the phasing. So this one was created in Existing and demolished in Phase 1 New. So that was my original configuration. I'm going to need that original configuration in both design options. So I'm going to come down here and click Add to Set, Curtain Wall Entry, both are checked, click OK. Now I'll get an error message here that highlighted walls overlap. That's just basically telling me that I've got two curtain walls on top of one another. We saw that error before. I'm just going to dismiss that. That's fine. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select the other curtain wall now. It's easier because you may recall that working with design options, the options are excluded. So I can't actually select the one that I just modified unless I uncheck exclude options, which I'm not going to do here. But I'm going to verify just the same, just to be sure, and scroll down here. And this one was created in Phase 1 New and it's not being demolished. So that's my new door curtain wall. Now this one, when I do Add to Set, I only want to add it to the new entrance primary option, because if I'm leaving it as is, I don't need the new curtain wall. So I'll click OK. Now, because the primary option says, show me the new door, we're seeing that here. Let's go over here to our new construction. This one also is set to show primary. And this one is also set to show primary. Now, here's one last thing that we need to do. This is my primary option. That means if I edit that primary option, there are actually two curtain walls here. Now, I'm only seeing one right now because of the phase filter assigned to this demo view. That's fine because I want to select this. And if it's the new entrance, then the way this curtain wall is set up is correct. In other words, it should be created in the existing phase and be demolished in new Phase 1. So that one's fine. But what about the one where we're leaving it as is? Well, with that one, it still looks like it's being demolished, and we don't want that. So now what I do is I select this one, which is a copy, because remember, we copied this object to both design options. Scroll down, and I want to change the demolished phase to none. So now it goes back to being a regular curtain wall. It's no longer being demolished. I'm going to set this back to main model, and if I want to preserve the original and I show that one, the curtain wall won't be demolished. And if I want to show with the new door, it will be demolished. Now, of course, if I wanted to present both of these as true options, then I might want to go ahead and create a couple custom views. So I'm just going to right-click my view here and duplicate it. And I'll rename that. And duplicate it again. Go to Visibility Graphics, go to Design Options, and this is my original scheme, so we'll set that permanently to leave it as is. And here's my new scheme. Go to VG, Design Options, make that the new entrance. And of course, if you wanted to, you could crop this down a little closer, create a sheet, put it on the sheet. I'll leave that to you. But if I zoom in and take a look at that one, there it is with the new entrance. And here it is leaving the original alone. So taking both design options and phasing and incorporating them in the same model is easy to do. Does take a few more steps. You have to think about both what you want the design options to do and what you want the phasing to do. But once you get everything set up, you can make a very nice presentation that incorporates both features quite well in the same model.